Hi everyone, Trina here, and I just got done watching and listening to Wayne. I was working and going in between. I had some stuff going on here, but I was in complete shock as to the resonance of the information that we're both coming into right now. It's quite mind-blowing. So today, Wayne was getting into this information about the different realities of our soul and the gods, and how all of this is a matrix, and how there's different levels and layers to this matrix. Hi, everyone. Okay, let me see if I can grab another phone, and so I can see if I can see chat too. I want to read you guys some very powerful information that a beautiful person sent to me, and I don't know if she wants me to say her name, so I'll just say thank you, Moo. And later on, if that's okay, I will definitely disclose that information. But she brought me into some information called terology, and our reality field and its energy systems, and the biological engineered forms and networks of humanity. And this blew my mind, because this is what I've been seeing for a long time, is that our dimensions are like stacked on, above each other, but they're existing in the same mental field somehow. It is so hard to put these things into words, what I see. And this was confirmation on so many levels, because I've always known that we were interfered with the reptilians, and that there was a draconian presence that was injected into the DNA, and that there were all of these different genetic things that had happened over time. And this, to me, you guys might want to get this. It's on the internet, and just put in on the search LPRF3. And if you search that, you will see two articles that come up, and they're quite mind-blowing. So, okay, let me see if I can say hi to whoever's here. Give me one moment. Okay. Okay, hi everyone. So, Wayne was talking about how, like, there's these gods and these things, and they've been like putting us into slavery. So, this is confirming all that Wayne was talking about, but it's also getting into the divine feminine, the part about the chakra and the energy centers and the energy wheels. And this is profound information. So I'm hoping that Wayne and I, we can go over this, and maybe go over this on the next show we do, because I found this information to be completely potent. It talks about the auric fields within the separate vortexes of our chakra systems, the quantum morphogenetic field, activation of the quantum morphogenetic field. I did a session a little bit ago, and we were braiding and connecting different energy systems. She was being guided to connect these different energy systems in the head, from the pineal to the throat, and the higher mind and lower mind, and it was producing this like triangle, and then it was going down to the heart. This they have diagrams of this exact process that I was watching happen in this session. So this is like, it's profound. Hi Barry, hi Julie, hi Darth, hi Al, hi Nina, hi Ann, hi Hillard, hi Alex. Mwah. Thank you guys for being here. So I hope you guys will really like this. I'm just going to give a little bit of this, and like I said, the name of this was Terraforming the Planet. It was called okay, here we go. And it's by Randy Green. So it's called Terology, Our Reality Field, Its Energy Systems, Biologically Engineered Forms and Networks. And this is so profound, because this is literally describing why they're installing this 5G network. It's turning from the grid to now a network. It's literally an upgrade, but we're hoping it's going to be handled by good people instead of bad, because that can be pretty bad for us. So this will get into that and how the souls come in through these different frameworks and networks. This is exactly what I was shown. So it says, okay, the manifested worlds of all after a timeline event. The LPU reality fields are founded on quantum variables, and each reality holds its own version of a quantum flux field. When I saw that, I literally saw the flux capacitor in Back to the Future, the time flux capacitor, and how you can transport to timelines through this flux. And this is literally what I was shown through that when they would travel through the timeline, it was because of the flux field, and it would happen in the heart of a human being, like what they were showing it in the car. So it's like all these little clues, and it's all coming together. So it says the flux field puts you into which quantum variables will manifest variant outcomes. So depending upon the flux is where you go into the timelines and how you create within them. So it is all dependent on how you have been affected. And apparently these fields are affecting our genetic codes. So all quantum variables are affected and changed according to the races that are unfolding their genetics into that quantum field. Hence, the quantum variables unfold their possibilities and probabilities in contact with the consciousness of the genetic race that exists in the specific field. Besides, a race can only exist if they have seeded their genetics into a quantum field, and by this generated the racial network. So our quantum field right now has a vast racial network, which means many, many, many beings have injected their genetic codes into this reality. And that was what I was always shown. He was like, the earth is like a living library of all the different genetic codes coming together in a process of integration so they can learn from each other and expand and evolve. And it was a beautiful concept. And this is like, again, confirmation. We come here through a seeding process through our genetics. So a racial grid work unfolds as a result of those seeded genetics that are placed into that specific quantum field. The quantum fields are the foundation of any reality after the timeline events in the area of the LPU happened. And it says, however, though, this is a simplification of how the reality fields truly unfold. So, and then it goes into different concepts about stellar consciousness and different levels of consciousness. So, it also speaks that it is when, okay, it says, the human mind will all, it says, it has been activated and fully ingrained into the human mind, and it will all make sense. And when this is said, then it is time to leave behind concepts of dimensions and only talk about the less progressive reality fields. That is the meaning of LRPF, less progressive reality fields. There was some type of an infection when we lost the war with the reptilian draconian factions. And this is confirmed in these documents about this reptilian takeover and an infection. We literally received an infection which led to a regression. And that's exactly what I saw. Adam was dumbed down by this whole Garden of Eden thing that was with the sin, the skin, the genetic codes, the books of life. And it was done without permission. So it's totally going exactly with what Wayne was saying today, but this is like a different level. This is going more quantum. This is getting more into the quantum energetic fields, which actually create the reality. He's explaining the results and who was playing the parts in that reality, but this is expressing the quantum layers of how this was all created energetically and dropped down through genetic code. So the LPRF5s are the creators of the LPU and entered from the first universe. They are not gods, but they are merely a group of humanoids from the first universe that left and created their version of a main reality field with subfields. They lived up to what they considered to be the best way of progressing the genetics and the holographic units. Unfortunately, the LPU got struck by the timeline event, which altered the genetics of the LPRF2 and the LPRF3 races. After the timeline event, the LPRF3 races were hit by the infection, and the LPRF2 races were later hit by the regression, changing the LPRF2 into what we know as the 4th through 6th dimensions. The less progressive universe. The LPU consists of reality fields with subfields, i.e., LPRFs. The LPU can be seen as a pyramid, with the core 12 Kunda rays at the top. The core emits the Kunda rays, and the encoding they set for the holographic units. And this is what I saw. We were birthed out of a central source of light through the rays of creation, and I saw those as being 12, and they matched the wheel of the zodiac, and they locked in through the wheel. So this is what I saw. So the 12 Kunda rays, and it's KHUNDARAYS, Kunda rays in the top. Okay, the core emits the Kunda rays, and the encoding they set for the holographic units, the light units, which travel to go into matter, which after time, the event turned into the quantum variables. The core with the 12 Kunda rays has been illustrated as the ancient cultures, as a sun. Hence, the core is also called the central sun, since it does determine how all life unfolds and grows. And then I really don't know if I can show you this, but I will try. And this is a graph of the pyramid that they show. So, yeah, I would screenshot that and maybe look at it later. So at the very top of the pyramid, it's the core, and they show it as a sphere above the pyramid. Then the next one is reality field 5, and the LPRFs, they're identifying them as plasma beings. And I remember these plasma beings. They're called the boneless ones. I remember this. So this is like, wow, confirmation. So then reality field 4 are also plasma races within that field. The barrier, the repulsion barrier from the timeline event is all beneath that. So beneath this barrier, the holographic units unfolded as after timeline event quantum variables, changing the way the genetics progressed and developed. So the reality field 3 is where the LPRF3s, which are the ancient stellar races, in perfect polarity with the dark ancient stellar races. So then beneath that is reality field number 2, and this is the ancient stellar races that have been regressed. Reality field 1 and the LPRF2 network, the LTOS and the LOES humanoids and ancient stellar races. So the majority are in the base of the pyramid, the different expressions through the genetics right now. So the illustration shows how the reality fields and their races are positioned. A reality field has got a number, which I have created for the purpose of understanding the differences in the grid works and their races. Each reality field consists of a central racial grid work and its many subnetworks. There, the combinations of the main genetics unfold. The LPRFs merge into each other and they are not divided as shown by the illustration. I have shown in the grid work the races, but not all of the sub-races of each energy field. And that's where you would see the blending between the layers. So, I hope you guys are finding this interesting. Let me see. Okay. This is where it gets interesting and into the reptilian races. And it says RLPRF1 reality field was taken over by the regressed reptoid races during the reptilian riots. However, the foundation, the sciences, the energy systems that were invented and unfolded into the colonies of the ancient stellar races were still part of the LPRF2 network, in spite of the takeover and the incoming regressed races. They have utilized the middle and lower areas of the LPRF2 network, even though they never succeeded in accessing the upper levels of the RF2. The bordering areas is where the LPRF3 races had their networks. Now they have been able to reach areas of the LPRF2, where the original mammal races unfolded and their cities during the Hyperborean eras. And this is the stories of Shambhala and Inner Earth and all of that. This is where all of this comes from. It's from the LPRF2 network. So the Hyperborean era did not unfold on the third dimension. And this is what I've always said. This is a fifth dimensional existence. The Lemurian Hyperborean was still in fifth dimension. And that they confirm that here. It was inside the perimeter of the sphere, and it locked in the human mind with its limited perception, but unfolded in the expanded realities of the LPRF1 quantum field beyond the geometric levels in what we could perceive as the sixth dimension. In our project of rebuilding our reality field and its humanity to be able to expand and extend beyond the third dimensional perimeter, we have to enter into the timelines that lead us back to the Hyperborean era, in which the higher developed LPRF2 humanoids existed in our reality field, and from there transfer away from the Syrian B timelines we are a part of, and into the Syrian A timelines, of which both represent consciousness or genetic lineages of the after timeline event in the ancient stellar races. There are 12 original sets of genetics. The original LPU energy system unfolded different combinations of 12 original sets of genetics that were created as part of the LPU core. The non-geometrical levels also do include the fourth and sixth dimensions. To understand the timelines, Randy Green wrote a book called Souls of Humanity. And I just ordered that, and I'm going to get that book so we can maybe go over some of it, because I have a feeling it's going to be absolutely profound. So with that, guys, I'm probably going to wrap it up soon, but I'm going to say hi to you guys and go through chat a little bit. I hope you guys find this interesting. I thought this was just mind-blowing information. Yeah, CERN is probably this is a part of the quanta. Yeah, this is the quanta. And obviously they understand the quanta field. So we need to understand the quanta field too. The void between the layers. That's a good question, Debbie. I don't know. I don't know. Remember. Yes, Julianne. It is time for us to remember. And they show some beautiful charts about how to activate the mind. And we're doing this with meditation and past life regression and all of this beautiful stuff that we're doing. We're doing this now. So this is how you can get access to your original template. And remember how I've always spoken about the original templates, like you don't mess with God's books of life. And remember I told you in a higher realm, they're perfect and they're never to be touched or destroyed or distorted. And they're telling me that we now have access to download our original templates. And through that will activate our really good genetic codes through that template. So I think that is powerful information. I love you guys all. Yeah, it's kind of crazy information. I thought it was absolutely mind-blowing. Timeline event unfolds as a series of timeline. So the timeline event that they're speaking of, it sounds like what I've been shown we're going to go into again was the spin cycle of the washing machine. Oh my God, that's what I saw, the spin cycle. Okay, so the timeline event unfolded as a series of timelines, and that's what I saw. It's like we get dropped into some type of a spin cycle. Maybe it's a black hole. I don't know, but it starts to pull magnetically everything into its right place. Like it's going to go in all these different directions. And it was like it creates all new timelines. And I saw that we're going to go into the spin cycle and we're going to go into our correct timelines. So the timeline event unfolded as a series of timelines. The initial event, the explosion, spread out the holographic units and the genetics from the races present in the Syrian workstations into a series of loops, the wheels within the wheels. That's exactly what it looks like, wheels within the wheels, where each of the initial event timeline loops generate an opposite to match the quantum variables and the genetic imprints of the races that were a part of the initial event. Yes, Northern Lights, I have heard of Ashiana Dean, and she has got, wow, amazing information that she has brought forth with her channeling. Brilliant. Her automatic writing, shall I say. Yeah, Ashiana Dean, she's brilliant. Let me see. Hi, Spirit Girl. Hi, David Berry. Hi, Northern Lights. Hi, Diana Reeves. I hope I haven't missed anybody. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it is difficult to understand. I totally get that because this information, sometimes you have to hear it a few times before it can actually get into the consciousness because it's brand new information. And this is the hardest part about when you see from the quantum perspective. You can't find words for this stuff because it's not in the brain yet. So it is a difficult process. So no, you're not alone with that. If this stuff is hard to understand, just digest it and let it ride inside of you and see where it goes. Because once this starts to anchor inside of you, it will connect similarities that you already have in your construct, and it will start to reawaken, and you will start to understand. And then you'll hear the information again, and you'll be like, oh wow, I totally get it. It'll just connect. So be patient with yourself, y'all. This stuff takes a while to fish through in the mind, especially when we don't have a lot of words for what this is. And that's because it is quantum, and it's quantum field. So yeah, it definitely appears that all of these different loops were initiated through this timeline event. And this is how they show the picture of the timeline event. And I'll show that to you. And again, like I said, this is all copyrighted by Randy Green, and the books are available through Barnes and Noble and personally, and I think some of them are on Amazon as well. So this is profound information, and this is it is so wonderful when I find things that match what I've seen, because man, really, you see, it's hard to just how to explain this stuff. It's kind of difficult, and this was like, this is spot on what I see with the different the spin cycle of the 12 different potentials that shoot out of the one, and then there's layers of realities coming out of those in these rings and circles and bubbles. It's kind of like bubbles. So yeah, I've been seeing this stuff for such a long time, and it is very difficult to put it all together in your head to where it makes sense. So this was a beautiful example of taking a lot of the information I've seen over and over and over again. So however, the dissolving did not destroy the Syrian races or the workstations. It only temporarily deconstructed everything into new combinations. Yep. Where some of the original settings gathered back onto almost as if they were before, the rest unfolded as bits and pieces into the thousands of timelines that were created from the initial event. That's the fractals scattering. The boom, and all the fractals go out. That's what I saw. It was like boom, and all the fractals went out, and they were all conscious, aware pieces. And they all were going to different locations and different layers of creation and going into different things. So our quadrant after the timeline event, the LPRF3 level is the initial event. The F2 level is a timeline that has multiple pasts, and this is where we're into the fractal conscious realities. And then the LP1 is multiple futures and our galaxy. And I'll show you that little chart that they show. Kind of explains it. And this is what I saw, the one shooting out the many into the new probabilities and potentials and timelines. So we're on to something with this, guys. It looks like what we've been seeing and how this is a holographic reality. That this is all looking like this is literally science is just getting ready just to start confirming this stuff, because the quantum information that they have gathered is completely in support with it. So all of these timelines created a beginning point in the LPF3 initial event, and the F1 was the end point. See, there's your beginning and there's your end. Within those three levels, there's your beginning and your end. There's your Holy Trinity, there's the Virgin, the Crone, and the Maiden. This is all of the fates. This is all of it. It's because of that creation point. All timelines created at the beginning point in the F3 level, and the event, and then the end point is in the F1 at the end of the timelines, the opposite of the initial. The probabilities of possible outcomes were seeded into the many timelines to unfold these different possibilities. The explosion kind of never stopped, but it ran as quantum waves from the beginning to the end of that timeline, back and forth, generating a loop that would amplify its quanta for each completed loop. Yeah. Therefore, the many stellar races from the ancient stellar races in the LPF3 and F2 to the new stellar races in the LPF2 and F1. And remember, 1 is the lowest, so that means we're bringing them up. We are bringing them up. which is what I saw. We came here to elevate an entire race through the creation of connecting to the Christ within. And through that, all of the light workers on this planet would be creating a new grid, a new foundation. And then at an appropriate window of time, that grid would be activated and it would become the new network. And that's why they're trying to do the absolute imitation of what we're getting ready to do naturally and organically in the computer world with this new G thing. Yeah. Yeah. So this is like I said, this is something that will not be stopped because this is a planetary thing. But what we focus on is where we're going to go within these new timelines. So, oh yeah, the name of the book, I don't know, but you can go and just do a Google search on LPRF. And then one of the books that he wrote is called Reconstruction of the Planetary Soul. And it's by Randy Green, Randi Green, Green. And then another one that he wrote is called Terrology, which is Terralogy. So it's Terrology, Our Reality Field, Its Energy Systems by Randy Green. And that's what we're reading of right now, I believe. So, yeah, this is just profound information. I couldn't believe when my friend sent me this and she says, you need to see this. This is really important. And it was because of the last show that Wayne and I were doing when we were talking about how God is so much bigger than people understand because they're not seeing the quantum part of this. And I was explaining the 16 and the layers and the fractals. And so she was like, you need to see this information. And when I started going through this information, I was like, wow, you were so right. Because this puts everything a little bit more organized in my mind with what I've seen. So this really helps me to solidify the knowledge in a very anchored way. It's kind of about like nothing's real till you feel it. And when you feel it, then you know. And then when you know it, there's no going back from it. It's like you can't unpop that popcorn. You just cannot do it. So it's really nice to get confirmation because when you have a knowing of things that cannot be confirmed, it's a little hard sometimes with that. So these are beautiful gifts for me from the universe, confirming that which what has been shown to me. So okay, let's see. What else in here was information? Okay, when a completion cycle has ended, its loop and its possibilities are manifested in as existence, life forms and realities in the LPF2 level and the F1 level. The completion cycle leaves the timeline loop of the initial event and it stretches out into a set of multiple futures, which are determined by which has been unfolding in the timeline of that loop. So, like I said, like attracts like. So the different points of creation go out and create kind of in the same resonant field that they were being expressed in already. This is why the dark ones will be drawn into the dark places and the light will be going into the light because it's in resonance and they're in loops. So it says, thus, when a completion cycle arises in the endpoint, everything resets by a sort of quantum leap. Guys, we're getting ready to do this right now. We potentially have a new king. The monetary system is getting ready to switch. We have this craziness happening with the elections and what's happening between the battle between the dark and the light within our government structures. We have a battle happening between our medical systems and what they used to be about and what they've now become. There are all of these situations that are manifesting right in front of us to show us that we are literally getting ready to make a quantum jump reset. So We will be making a reset. And I don't know if it is this explosion, and this explosion is imminent. I don't think it might not be in our lifetime, but we are going to be having some type of a quantum flash of a reset coming. And this was that light that many people are seeing that come in and just wakes everybody up. So this is what it is. And whether or not we're still in flesh, it doesn't matter, because we won't know the difference, because we're just going to be in a new reality. So don't fear any of this stuff. I mean, that is the worst thing that you can do, is be afraid of any of it, because it's really not going to serve you, and you're going to see it's really not worth it, because it's not real. You're not going to be gone when you drop your flesh. You're going to still be existing. So to really grab a hold of that and know that is to truly start to integrate with the fullness of what you are, because you are so much more than just your body. We are quantum, guys. We are quantum, and I've been being shown this for a very long time, and I've always known I was existing in different dimensions, because that's where I would go to hang out with the Lord. And that's what happens when you activate and open these parts of your mind. You literally start to have access to the higher dimensions through thought and desire and a feeling. So these are things that have always been thought of as taboo, and in all actuality, this is what we're made of. We are quantum. So we need to start to understand and address our quantum aspects of what we truly are. And all of the things that are happening in our reality are based on quantitative computer programs. The matrix is coded through the quantum capability matrix programs. So it's all coming through the quantum field. All of it. All of it. That's when you're connecting to the higher self, you're connecting to the quantum part of yourself, which is really big. Really, really big. So start to get to know a little bit about that part of us, because we are not just Earth. We are not just the solar system. We're part of the quantum field. And there's layers in that quantum field, and you can easily exit the quantum field. This is the repentant stuff in the Bible, because to repent means you're repenta, you're reforming, you're restructuring, you're going back. But see, the trick of it is that you want to repent, you want to replicate or go back to the original template. That's why I said, as soon as I pass over with my flesh, my automatic focus is going to be identification of highest self. And then I'm going to say, reflect and mirror and copy image of template. And I'm going to transmute my system into my highest octave immediately through the template that is my template. And you all have your own template. And it comes straight out of the oversoul and the soul group. So you all have your own special petal of this flower of life in these loops. Yeah. So yeah, we're all a part of this. Okay, I'm going to see what you guys are saying in chat. Okay. Yeah, Debbie, children will perish from lack of knowledge. Yeah. Yes, indeed, we do. Yeah, the Schumann's been going crazy. I've been noticing that too, Spirit Girl. It is going absolutely off the hook. Higher self? Yes. Higher shelf? Yes, Julianne. Spirit Girl. Yeah. It's more than a download. Julianne, it's a blueprint. Bingo. That's exactly what it is. These are blueprints, and they're in your codes from your genetic codes, and this goes all the way up. All the way to your highest representation, even to the plasma body. So I'm talking about, you guys, we have access to all the way up, but you have to, first of all, have an awareness that it's even a potential, because how can you manifest something that you don't even know exists? 90% of this game is remembering what we are. So, yeah, the solar flash, that could be it, Debbie. Yep. Divine blueprint, yes. Divine blueprint, yes. Yeah, Darth, this is great information. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you have an awareness of it because it's beautiful information. I think it's definitely appearing to be absolutely provable in the very near future. Like not speculative, straight up science. This is coming because the more of us now that are connecting to our higher realms and astral traveling and meditating and getting out of body and getting into those higher active mind awareness levels, the more you do this, it's like a muscle. And the more you practice, the easier it is to connect. That's why you guys see my eyes go up a lot. I literally can connect to a different part of my system and start hearing from a higher perspective of my own self. It's like I'm not hearing it from anybody else. I'm literally hearing from my own self. And I can hear my guides too, because they're like, yeah, always present. And it's most of the time it's your own voice. It's you. It's you guiding you through the systems of help you have available through you. We are seriously awesome little creatures that we are. So yeah, the bones, the boneless ones. See that's like I said, the level 5. Those are the boneless ones. Those are the plasma beings, and that's where the originals come from. That gave us our humanoid form. That's why it's called humanoid, and we're called human because they're different. The humanoid form, the templates of humanoid. Those are the boneless ones, the plasma beings. They're the first atom form, I think. Now, I can't confirm that yet, but I'm pretty sure because I've been shown it so many times. So, yeah, the present, it is you. I love that, Julie. Yeah, I think some people do know, Spirit Girl. They're starting to figure out that we are quantum, expressing in a quantum capacity, receiving our quantum avatars through a projection coming from our oversoul, which is actually coding the flesh. So when the flesh drops, it's like you don't die, you're just changing forms. You're transitioning from one form to another form. So in these great windows of transition, I think it's very important to remember what you are so you can create and manifest where you want to go. Because we will choose. Yeah. Lemurians, yes, Deborah. Sovereign Key talks about the event horizon. Yes, the event horizon. And many people, they speak about this and they say it's imminent. So that means it's coming. And you know, the movie Knowing with Sean Penn, I remember seeing that in that big explosion. I never saw the whole movie, but I saw parts of it because my kids watched it and the previews of it. And you know, they were just holding each other and then the light comes and some of the children were taken off into space. This is like exactly what this is talking about. The Syrians coming to retrieve their genetics so they can save the genetics, so they can further it in the new creation points. So yeah, and it's so ironic too because I don't know if you guys know, but I've spoken about this before. I've seen the reality as in a spaceship inside of a spaceship inside of a spaceship. And they're talking about this, that this is true. And I'd never, ever, anywhere in any literature seen this before. And it does talk about this existence being a craft. A craft. So, smack daddy. We might be living inside of a big spaceship right now, and we don't even know it. So, that one kind of blew my mind because I've seen this multiple times. They're like, he's like, you don't understand. You're a consciousness inside of a consciousness inside of a consciousness. At least 3 deep. He always shows me 3. So it would be shown to me a doll inside of a doll inside of a doll, and then it was shown to me as a cell inside of a cell inside of a cell, and then it was shown to me as a body inside of a body inside of a body, and then a spaceship inside of a spaceship inside of a spaceship. And I was like, whoa. And then he also showed me neutron, proton, electron, the 3 to make the spin of the molecular expression. So this is all connected to this Trinity. It's all connected to what we are as energy beings. And yeah, this is mind-blowing to me because I literally have seen that before and I was like, how could that even be true? You know, and it looks like there could be some solid foundation to that. So we might be living inside of a spaceship and not even know it. And this thing is mammothly huge. It can encompass our entire atmosphere and all the stars we see in the sky are within it. Yeah, that's how big it would be. Yeah, flat Earth with a dome. It could be. Because we're on a holographic field within a sphere. So I know we're in a circle because all of it's in circles. I always see circles, bubbles, spirals, but they're always circles. There's geometry too in the lower dimensions, but up at the higher, it's all circles, circles and circles and circles. That's all it is, circles. Bioship. Oh yeah, this thing is a living, thinking entity, consciousness. Debbie, precisely, 100% conscious being, the ship, the craft. It was literally created from the original rays of creation, from light, from is what I was shown. Yeah, but it has consciousness of a god maybe. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to explain that yet. I'll work on that, putting that into words. But it's definitely, the ships are conscious 100%. Yes, just like we would say Earth, Gaia, mothership, Mother Earth, mothership. It's our mothership, and she's feminine. So this Earth ship we're in, she is feminine. She's a feminine goddess. So, okay. If the Earth was a hologram, the way it could be flat is because to project a hologram, Spirit Girl, you have to have a flat surface for the hologram to project out of it. That's where that concept is coming in. Because you have to have a level field to project the holograph. Just like in Star Trek, when you'd see that they'd hold their hologram machines up, it's a flat device and the hologram would appear on the flat surface. So this is why you would need a flat surface for the hologram. Yeah. You see that with the layering in your pics. Yep. Circles. Yes. So yeah, we're in a sphere because the sphere is, there's layers within the sphere. And I think the realities are on those layers. And that would be the flat part for the holographic projection, if that makes sense. Because that's how I see it. We are in the sphere, but there's layers in that sphere. And there's blending between the layers. That's why sometimes we can see spirits walking around on our dimension. It's like, those are like glitches in the Matrix, I think. So that could be a holodeck. Yeah. The greater spaceship. Like I said, guys, we're getting into a lot of confirmation that first of all, our consciousness is being given to us from a remote location, which is oversoul, higher self. Those are the spiritual concepts. But we need to start looking on this as a quantum computer aspect, because I'm pretty sure that this is what we're looking at. And it's just, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It is. It's absolutely crazy. All right, you guys, I love you all. This has been super fun. I'm going to get this information over to Wayne, and hopefully we can talk about this and have him read some more of this, and we'll show some of the charts and discuss it, hopefully, because I think this is fabulous information, and it's in total resonance with what Wayne was talking about. And they do talk about how to get out of the matrix, and it's with your consciousness. And this is what I've always been shown, guys. It's up to you, and because it is up to you, you can do it. So that is a wonderful thing. So there is great hope for us as a species, and a species to exit the matrix and go to higher realms of creation and choose what you want to do, not be tricked and not be forced, because you have awareness of what's really going on outside of your flesh and what you're going to be looking at when you leave your flesh. So I love you guys so much, and I will be seeing you on the next one. I'm going to try to read from the alchemy book today. I don't know if many of you saw the Let's Create and It's Time to Create, but this is how we connect from the higher realms. This is the exact information coming through on how to connect to the upper templates and bring them into your body and into this realm. And this is heaven on earth. This is how it's done, because you grab heaven and you bring it into your earth through your templates. So we do this too by seeing it happen first and see that in your cloud. We talked about creating a cloud and how, because imagination is the realest thing in this reality. I know this is true. Dr. Alan Richard Miller talks about this, and I'm like, he's like, I think the only thing real in this reality is the imagination. And literally, I was like, spot on. Spot on. It's your greatest superpower, and they do not want you to use it. So, guys, trust your imagination. Daydream. See the vision. See the visions of the past. Ask your spirit to guide you to the original Garden of Eden. See Atlantis. See different timelines. Start connecting to all of you, because this is you. And inside of you, you have so much wisdom. So, yeah, I love you guys. And I will see you very, very soon. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are incredible. And you know, what's the point of having any of this information if you can't share it with the people that you love, and you can't help other people to snap their brain awake? Because that's how it happens, and sometimes it's painful. So all of you like going, man, this stuff is crazy. I can't believe it. I get it. Oh, I get it. Because boy, it takes a while to digest and process a whole new way of thinking, because everything that we've been taught to keep us in slavery. So it's time to understand what we are, who we are, and get free. I love you guys all. So much favor to you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.